first time, I don't, thank you. Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, second item is to review the July 23rd, 2019 meeting minutes. So if everybody just takes a couple minutes to read those now. Any issues?
I would like to add the videographer's name, the fact that Fred was in attendance. So if we could add that, that's the only change that I have.
I'll make a motion to accept as amended.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Okay. And tonight we have with us our new youth services librarian, Lita Carroll. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. We're very excited you were able to make it. We know you've been on a couple months, so
Yep.
you were able to make it.
Thank you. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, just for our listening audience?
Sure. For the last 5 years, I've been a second grade teacher in Woodstock, Connecticut, and for the 7 years prior to that, I was the library media specialist in that elementary school, which I really enjoyed. Unfortunately, my position as a librarian was eliminated, which is why I was teaching, and I was just ready to move into a library setting, which is what I wanted to do. And I live in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. So a little bit of a drive, and I have 2 kiddos and my husband.
You did mention the fish.
I do also. I brought fish to work.
Yes, there
also,
are now fish in the
fish in the library that were born in my classroom a year and 4 months ago. There are 10 of them, so we have a lovely tank now for the children to enjoy.
Thank you very much. We're glad you found your way to Dudley.
Yes, thank you.
And you're welcome to stay, or you can head
I
out
can
if
stay
you
for a
like.
little bit.
Okay, great.
Okay, next is the interview of the open trustee position. Richard, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, if anyone would like to ask Richard some questions, of course, we're all familiar with them, and thank you for applying for this position.
Thank you. It's good to see all of you again, even if it is on the other side of the table, but friendly faces and familiar faces, always a good thing.
I really appreciated your letter. I really appreciated all the hard work and effort you put into that. You could tell that you put some nice time and effort and words in there.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions for Richard?
No, the letter was fantastic.
Yeah.
But your service to the town, you've proven yourself already.
Yeah,
To the
exactly.
town and to the library, so I'm very happy
Thank you.
you're soon to be back on board, I hope.
Motion to vote Richard in.
I make a motion.
I was ready to be interrogated.
No, it's nice luck.
What did you do with the candy canes? Tell me where they are.
Oh, Humphrey Bogart, okay.
I make a motion to, for Richard Clark to fulfill the appointment of the library trustee, of the open library trustee seat.
Should I leave the room for the vote?
It's going to be.
It's going to be on television anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I had to have a moment of suspense.
You can leave and then like DVR it or something.
Yeah, I think we're safe in this particular case. So after we make this motion, and I'm assuming approve it, it will have to go before the Board of Selectmen. So hopefully we can get on the next agenda just to do the final
Joint,
Board of
yeah.
Selectmen. Yeah, it's a joint approval. So I make a motion that we recommend Richard to fill the open seat of library trustee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Carried. Thank you, Richard.
Now I can just be in the audience, right?
Yep, that's right.
I think it's ironic too, because a year ago we were in opposite positions.
So, yeah.
It was literally a year ago.
Okay, so what I will do is I'll write a letter to the selectmen saying that we have voted for Richard.
This does not
to fill that.
conflict with the planning board. They meet on Wednesdays.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So there shouldn't be any.
I don't expect there ever be any issues that would create a conflict of interest, but if there was, you just need to back away from that vote or discussion, but,
I find it hard
Yeah,
to envision
that was
any,
my
but you
feeling.
never
Yeah.
know. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Of
some
course,
things.
now that you were there, it probably will happen.
I know, that's
One of
the
Murphy's
one
laws.
time it will happen, will be, yeah.
We'll just have to see what that is at the time and how that works out. But again, it's hard to anticipate anything right now.
sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome to stay with us.
Sure, why not?
Okay, great.
Break me in early.
Richard, would you like a copy of my report?
Oh, if you don't mind.
Since I always have extras.
Oh, in that case, I'd be happy to take one. Lighten your load, thank you.
Yeah, Drusilla, you're up.
Yeah, so we have survived summer reading. Lita, who got dumped in on the deep end. Yeah, welcome to the library. We're starting summer reading in 3 days. So summer reading is up. We are waiting for the last couple people to pick up their prizes that their kids won. And if they don't pick them up, we'll put them to other use, obviously.
Is there a time limit? Do you state like?
We've
they have
actually
to
told
pick
them by
up
the
in-
end of this week.
By
They
the-
have to
okay,
pick up by
that's
Friday.
good.
So, yeah, they can't just sit there
I
indefinitely.
know, yeah. Well, sometimes I would think that would probably happen.
And I'm sure some of them, you know, as Lita and I were discussing earlier, you get people who, you know, the first 2 or 3 weeks of summer reading are very, very busy. Everybody's in every day, and then it kind of falls off. And I'm sure there are people who have completely forgotten that they ever, you know, their kid ever dropped a ticket in that particular
Yeah.
prize. So.
Let's see, there was a nice article on the Pearl Jam concert in the Webster Times.
Yeah, he's been coming to all of our Pearl Jam concerts. He was at the last one as well. Told me he was very excited because I guess it's a slow summer for news. So this gave him something to report on every month. Oh, okay. So yeah, he was at the last one as well. And there should also be at some point in the next couple of weeks. We've had 2 little ones complete the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. So those
great.
their pictures and a little blurb also runs in the Times.
I love that.
So more library publicity out there.
Yeah.
Any particular upcoming events that you'd like to make known?
I will point out the townwide Halloween celebration on October 24th that Lita has been meeting as part of the group that's planning that. The library will be the kickoff location, so everyone will be sort of meeting at the library and then I gather processing up or marching up to town hall.
Yes.
And, so, you know, if any of the board members are not doing anything on the evening of October 24th and would like to lend a hand with that, I am sure that all hands would be appreciated.
Do you have to wear costumes?
Well, Lita and I have already planned our costumes.
Oh,
So,
is it, they go together?
yes, they do
Oh,
go
I
together.
like that.
So we have already planned our costumes, but I think costumes is optional for everyone else. Although we do have a nice selection in the back, you know, if you.
No, we got rid of most
Oh, did you
of
get rid of
them.
most of? That's right. We
Most
gave
of
them to
them.
another library. But, you know, yeah.
You could wear my beekeeper's outfit.
There you go. You're perfect. You'd be in costume. But that should be fun, and it's nice that the library is going to be sort of the first place that people go. So, and a lot of September, a lot of our regular programs kick back up. So Lego Club starts up, Story Times start up, Youth Advisory Council kicks off. So there'll be slime making kicks off. So it'll get a lot busier.
Youth Advisory Council, how many teens, like, is that's for the teens? right?
Yes,
How many have
yeah.
you gotten that are willing to participate?
We have a couple that are usually just sort of there. We're hoping if we tell them that there's food involved.
That's always that's a key
show
thing.
up.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that a couple of our teens will probably participate, including the young lady who I was giving the kids a hard time today, jokingly, because they were pressing their faces against the glass in the teen room. And I said, "Oh, you're smudging my glass. There's nose prints on my glass," you know. So one of them said, "Well, if you give me glass cleaner, I'll clean it." And she went around and cleaned all the glass and dusted, and she had a grand time. So.
Nice, awesome. Teens in the library lately.
Don't tell her mother.
It was, well, her grandmother came in and was like,
Oh.
"You don't do this at home."
That's exactly, yes, that's it.
We do have a regular group of teens that's in that I think we
Yeah,
can
I see-
probably
see them.
Good.
get them involved.
It's good to know. The numbers look good. It's nice to see that there's the number of teens participating has gone up too.
Yeah, we had, I'm told by the people who've been around several years that it's a record number of teens participated in summer reading.
Yeah.
We've never
Awesome.
had more than about 10,
Mhm.
and we had like 28 this year, so.
That's great. Any children's events you'd like to tell us about, Lita?
Over the summer or upcoming?
Upcoming.
We have Pumpernickel Puppets coming at the end of September, so that should be fun. They've come before, and it looked like there was good attendance.
Yes.
Oh,
Very
yeah,
popular.
they're very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like Drusilla said, we'll do slime again, which will be lots of fun.
So long as I don't have to help again.
It's pretty easy to make slime.
I have to come see.
It
that.
is
I
pretty
really
easy to
do.
make
It
slime,
is.
but we give them glitter and charms,
Oh,
so
glitter.
it can, and then they have to use their hands. And
Yeah.
It
I
can get
can't
How do you
help
make
that.
it? Do you make it on a tray or?
No, they
No, they each get a
make
cup
a
that they
cup,
mix it in.
glue, baking soda, and contact solution, and they
Yep.
mix themselves, and then have to take it out and use their hands to mix it up too.
It's a good mess. It's a fun mess.
Mm.
Okay.
Obviously, you've done it right.
I'll be making some
back there.
tomorrow.
You
That's
can
on
buy
my
kits,
agenda for
too,
tomorrow.
which
Yeah,
make it
I
a
mean,
little
we
cleaner. I
buy
know at
we
the
buy it
library
in
it's a little
bulk, so
different,
it's
but
you know it's easier,
Yeah,
cheaper for
and
us
there's
to
no
do.
borax involved, which is what you don't want the kids to have to touch all
Right,
the time.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Borax can be.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. But I've also reached out to some of the schools too to start doing things with them through the
Great.
school year as
Yeah.
well. And even with advisory council starting up, reached out to the high schools to see if at least maybe they can put a sign up in their library that we're doing those things.
Yes, actually, that reminds me that a week from this Saturday, our Saturday morning hours, up till noon, 10 to noon hours will begin.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That starts the 8th?
The first weekend in September, well,
That's
after
the
Labor Day.
Saturday.
Right, so
Obviously.
it's like the 8th?
It's,
Yeah.
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 Yes, we've already scheduled Saturday hours. I just went ahead and scheduled everybody through next June. It's like, while I'm doing it, might as well.
Okay, the budget.
Yes, so beginning of the year, we're in good shape as far as the budget goes. We have, the thing at the beginning of the year is you get a lot of the like service contracts and so on that are big numbers up front. So,
Did you contact any of them? Because I know we kind of talked about trying to spread that out so that it wasn't that way?
Some of them, that's the only way they can do it because of their purchasing, like software and so on. You can't, you're purchasing
Yep.
upfront. I've talked to like our HVAC folks, and I mean, really, what they charge us for service is very reasonable. But Renaud, who does the mechanical half of our HVAC, is splitting it into 2 payments a year.
Oh, okay.
So it's a fall payment and a spring payment.
Oh, yeah.
And they've also not, I just got their, we had talked, and he just sent me the thing just before I came up here with the renewal. And he's not planning to raise our prices for 3 years, which is nice because their costs are going to go up,
Right.
With labor and so on. So, so I've tried when I can to split it up, and there will be some savings. We're looking at a new provider for our backup services. We've been paying retrofit about $5,000 a year, and I have a quote from Carbonite, which is what a lot of the big companies use, for $1,700 for 2 years.
Oh.
So that's a significant.
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of a, well, in that case. So some of the, I've been trying to reduce costs where I can. But, and some things like the CWMR's assessment, we just know, we pay that up front. So that's a big dollar amount that's already gone out the door. But yeah, we're in good shape, and we're ticking right along with, been trying to work with the custodian to do sort of more planned supply orders instead of just, oh no, we're out of this. So you'll see some in the invoices, you'll see some bigger bills from WB Mason just because we're trying to combine everything into, instead of doing an order here and then an order in 3 days and then an order next week, we're trying to do one bigger order just because that's easier. And then WB Mason can just keep sending us stuff that isn't ours.
Yeah, that's right.
They decided to send us somebody else's toilet bowl cleaner, and they won't take it back. They came.
What do you mean they won't take it back?
Well, they dropped off. I called and I said, "Excuse me,
not on my invoice.
You missed one of my boxes.
Oh.
They got most of our order. They missed one of our boxes, but they gave us the wrong person's." And I said, "We need ours, and can you take this back?" And he came and brought ours, but he didn't take the other one back. So, as it happens, however, in another couple weeks, I have a meeting right near where it's supposed to be going, because it has the address label.
That's good.
So I'm just going to drop it on the
There you
doorstep.
go.
There you go. But yeah, apparently they are really concerned about how clean our toilets are. I guess. I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
All right, any facility updates?
I ordered a lot of mulch today. The United Way folks are coming to do their day of service in September. Talked to the landscaping person. She confirmed my math is right, because I was looking at the square footage going, I need how much mulch now? So she double checked behind me and did point out that this time of year she's getting low on mulch, so the dump truck load will be arriving tomorrow. Because it might as well sit in our parking lot instead of out in their yard, so there will be a lot of mulch.
And when is the United Way?
It's September 20th. So they will put mulch down, plant mums under the fearless leadership of Mr. Kraber here.
Just weed, and just general. They go all around the town. A lot of volunteers and just do all sorts of stuff.
But yeah, so I ordered a lot. So if you happen to drive in the parking lot, like, why is there a huge pile of
Where are
mulch?
you going to put the mulch in the parking
I'm
lot?
going to put it over, where the shed is in the back
Yep.
that has almost nobody parks right along that bank.
Perfect.
So I'm just going to have them leave it there.
Yep.
Because it's not an area that, it's not a high traffic area, basically.
Do we want to see about, like, I'm just thinking of things, like, it could happen.
Walks away?
Yeah, no, not even so much that. No, I'm thinking of like sawhorses or something to block it, or,
I'm
because
pretty
that's
sure.
September 20th, that's a ways away.
Yeah, it's, I think it'll be okay. I'll talk to George tomorrow when I come in, because obviously I have to tell him it's coming, and just see if he wants to do something over there, but that's
And
kind
we've
of.
covered it before, just so it doesn't get soft and wet.
Yeah.
If we get it this early,
Um,
we want to grab a tarp and just have George
But
cover it.
her comment was she would rather, she said, I can wait, or I can sell it to you now and you'll know you have enough, because she said you're going to be taking almost all of what I have left. So, because we use a lot of mulch. But so that's, like I said, if you notice there's a pile of mulch, that is why there's a pile of mulch.
I can just see kids playing in it more than anything, not that it would walk away. I can see kids riding up it, on their bikes or just because
Yeah,
it's
well,
there.
the teens have gotten a lecture from me about riding their bikes in the parking lot, so they haven't done that in a couple weeks. I had to, channel my mother, and kind of turn on the grown-up voice. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, obviously. As you all know, and Richard probably does not know, our library was hit by lightning twice last week. It was a very eventful. It was very exciting.
A little bit, yeah.
Technologically.
I talked to, because of the number of systems that went on the fritz, I talked to Rich Carmignani about an insurance claim because our deductible is only $1,000. So he has already gotten in touch with the assessor, and I've kind of started that process rolling. Fran from House Corp was here at 6 o'clock on Thursday morning because we needed to get the HVAC working. And essentially, until the insurance adjuster comes in, we don't want to go too hog wild. So he basically sort of worked around the issue. So we do have functioning HVAC, but there are a couple of pieces that are we're sort of ignoring them.
Do you know when the adjuster's coming in?
I don't know. I haven't heard. But we know that we have the issue. Our Ethernet cabling was fried. The actual internet cabling, which is the heavy-duty Cat 6, that's fine. That carries a much bigger load, but the Ethernet cabling is fried. So both of our fax machines were connected via Ethernet, and so we have no fax machines.
In the past, we've had to make a couple of calls to encourage them to find
Yeah,
us.
I had it on my calendar for, it hasn't been a week yet since I started that process, so I'm gonna. We've got the security company was out, so that's all taken care of. As Pat knows, this past weekend, our fire alarm system decided to get really creative. And I got an automated message, which means there's not a fire, but there's an issue with the panel
Trouble
itself.
with the system.
Saying, please see the panel for more information. And I said, well, I'm in Mansfield, Connecticut right now. I'm not even home. So I texted poor Pat and went, can you go by the library? And then it happened again on Monday morning. And as it turns out, that system is basically battery powered with a charge coming through when it's powered, and when the power went out, it drained the batteries enough, and they're old batteries. The gentleman told me they should be replaced every 4 to 5 years. They are currently 4 years.
Been replaced.
They are, that particular one he checked, they're currently 4.5 years old. So they basically had been drained, and it was shorting the system. So he took care of that. Batteries in 2 other parts of the system, he said, are also probably right on the verge. But they managed to escape the surge somehow. So we will put replacing those on a slightly less urgent footing. But yeah, it's been very interesting seeing all of the things that lightning can mess with. But we are very lucky because with 2 strikes in close succession, it could have been a lot worse. And clearly our suppression system is working. There was no physical damage to the building. We are very lucky that nobody was near the doors and windows, because a millisecond after the flash of lightning, all of the metal in the doors and windows went. It was very exciting.
Kudos to the staff.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
everybody kind of, there was a little bit of, oh God, what was that? But it was like, okay, we know what we need to do. Everybody go do your thing. So
Definitely a hair-raising experience.
and I appreciate, CW Mars was there the next morning to check things. House was there 6 a.m. the morning after when we realized we couldn't fix it remotely. The security company was there the same day to check everything. The fire company, when I called them, were there the same day. So we've been, everybody's been really great about trying to get us back where we need to be. We just can't fax anything, so if you need to fax things, go to Webster. And the only other facilities thing is, I know I had briefly mentioned that the staff work chairs are reaching the end of their life. We have several that you sit in, and a millisecond later they go. which is not very helpful. And we have a couple that don't really want to raise all the way up, so I'm working on pricing replacement chairs. They're not going to be cheap. I would rather, I mean, the ones we have now are 10 years old, so they were very good chairs.
What about, is that anything that you could do through Restore? Out of Worcester, they have like a warehouse almost place that's Restore, and it's all like
Used?
things, yeah, it's
Is that the Habitat Restore?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of their things are not going to be, I mean, like I said, I want to make sure that we get
Yeah,
the ones that are going to
decent
last
chairs,
another
yeah.
10 years, so. But so if you do see a couple $1,000s worth of chairs pop up in invoices, that will be why. But yeah, I've started pricing those just because, you know, especially the staff that sit at the circ desk all day and are up and down and sitting in those chairs, and if the chairs are not functioning properly, that
Yeah.
doesn't help them any.
Yeah, ergonomics is important.
Yeah, so.
May I interject something if it's within the
Sure.
format here? You mentioned furniture, and of late, I have been frequenting the youth portion of the library, kind of a new side of things for me. But I've noticed that some of the upholstery in there looks like it's seen better days. I think they're pretty much reaching the point where either consider reupholstering
That is
or
on
replacement.
the capital plan for the town. I had a meeting with Mr. Ruda, and the town is doing a capital plan, and one of the things they asked about specifically was our furniture. So I kind of put that on the radar, that yes, much of our upholstered furniture came with the building. You know, even the stuff on the adult side, it's not going to fall apart tomorrow, but
Right.
it needs to be on the radar for.
Well, I think the kids' side, they are
Yes.
challenged
It-
quite
it's-
a bit.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
That's a,
Yes.
that's a good word.
I don't know, a couple of the chairs right outside my office get some pretty tough
Yes,
use
they
from some of
do.
our regular
Our
newspaper
prices.
readers. There's
Actually,
a
we
regular
should like
rotation.
rotate the chairs, like they do tires, that might
Yeah,
work.
because there's about two
Makes a
that
good
everyone
point.
is
Yeah,
always
that
saying.
really is.
I know, the adult section,
Yeah.
adult reading by.
There are
very
2 or
large
3
print.
that
Yeah.
always have someone in them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that is a good point, Pat.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It
Well,
really
if
is.
only all of the furniture was like the furniture in the teen room that's all on wheels, and we
Yes,
can just
yes.
roll it around and
Yeah,
swap it.
exactly.
Okay, any more comments? All right, recap of Mr. Hugh Crawford's visit.
So Mr. Crawford was at the library 2 weeks ago now. Sorry, it's been a
Yeah.
very busy
4
month.
to the 14th, that's all I remember.
But he was at the library, came to meet me, and a couple of the trustees were there, and then came back to have sort of a reunion with some of the former Stevens Linen employees, and then came back again unexpectedly, which was like, wait, I thought you'd gone
That's the
home.
library.
He was back. It was lovely to meet him, and it was fun to hear his stories, you know, some of his Stevens Linen stories. He did bring us his daughters had given him for his 90th birthday, and as they said, it only took them 5 years to get it framed. One of the original calendar towels from Stevens Linen that they had framed. However, while they were here, someone who was there on the Wednesday gave them a brand new, never used, pretty much still in the box, one of those towels. It was in much better condition than the one that they had framed. So Mr. Crawford asked if we would unframe what's there and frame the new one, and I said, of course, you know, we'd be happy to do that. He also brought us framed plans of the linen mills from the 1930s.
That's cool.
that's
Which
nice.
are in kind of iffy condition, but I've ordered a couple of the supplies that I'll need to clean them, because fortunately I know how to do that. I knew that other degree would come in handy. So if you happen to come into the library and I am not in my office, I will probably be in the local history room
You
cleaning
know how to
those.
store documents? That's awesome.
I trained as a
It's one of the
preservation
reasons we hired her.
archivist.
Yeah, well, there were so many reasons, I forgot that specific
It's one of the reasons.
But it was
Yes.
like, it was funny. I've been, you know, pulling out all the tools that I haven't used in forever. And,
Let me know when you do that, I'd be very
so-
interested.
Yeah, it's going to be a long process because they are quite large,
Yeah.
and it does take time. But like I said, I'll be
And once they're cleaned, how will you store them?
I actually want to reframe them.
Oh, they're framed.
They are framed. They're framed
Okay.
and under glass.
Yep.
The frames that they're actually in are fine, but they are mounted on wooden boards on the back. So basically, want to take them to the framer and just have a proper backing put on.
Yep.
I have a feeling that they were framed sometime in about the 40s, and they're
Oh, wow.
you know they're in. One of them is in worse condition than the other. One of them obviously got wet at some point. But
That was nice of
so
him
I'll
to
be
leave it
cleaning
for the
them.
history
Yeah.
of the town. That was really
And
nice.
Ed Bazinet is all excited about this, so he's all excited that my supplies have come in, and he's like, so on Wednesday we can start working. I was like, yes, we can. So, but just that'll be one of those sort of ongoing projects that.
And do you think once they're restored or cleaned and redone, is that something that will hang in the library? Or
I
is
actually
this
want to
stored
hang
away?
them. No, I'm planning to hang them.
Okay.
But in the local history room.
Yeah.
I think Ed and I had talked about which wall we wanted to put them on. So that's. But yeah, that was. It was. He also brought. He and his daughter Jo brought some archival materials related to the Dudley history and particularly the Stevens Mills. So I got to go to Worcester and have them scanned and copied so that we can give the originals back as were requested, but we'll have the copies in the local history room. My favorite newspaper clipping is the one where the town assessor was taken hostage by the striking mill workers.
I love all these papers.
So I am planning, I made a smaller copy of that one specifically to bring to the current assessor and like, in case you ever think your job is crazy, at least you haven't been taken hostage.
Wow.
But it's some very interesting
What year
newspaper
was that?
clippings. That was in the 30s.
In the 30s?
Yeah, and there's, the National Guard is being sent to quell the strikers, and, the Union in, Pennsylvania sent a contribution, and it was kind of fun.
That's really cool.
Interesting.
But yeah, it was, I think, a very good visit. I think he enjoyed it, and we had a really good turnout.
How many people came the second day that he was there?
Just under 50.
I was gonna say a lot.
Yeah, just under 50.
I knew a couple that were going. So,
Yeah, there were a lot of people in that room, so, yeah.
And some came, some left,
Yeah, people were
passed
kind of
through.
wandering in and out, but the staff at the desk were laughing because we had said, okay, 10 o'clock, he's planning to be here at 10. Well, people started coming at 9:15. We're just open the doors. Just let everyone in.
All right. Next is a long-range plan proposal discussion.
So I did hear from a couple of you with some comments, which I appreciated. So based on those, I have a slightly revised draft. The one change is that on the first page under the history of the library, there's a couple of sentences about the library as a department of the town. We receive state aid, so it's sort of our funding sources. So that was added. And then you will also see the last goal number 5, has to do with technology. So added a couple of things in there. I need some teenagers to do that.
Yeah, we do.
Sounds like the teens are little slave workers.
We have some
I'm kidding,
amazing teen,
obviously.
well, and we have some teen volunteers that come in and happily do, pretty much whatever. They're going to be grading erasers for me this weekend.
I know
or
what you
this
mean though,
week.
because they're so sweet too. The last couple times I've been in the library, hello ma'am, how are you ma'am?
Yeah, we have, for the most part, they're a good group. This afternoon they were getting a little rowdy, but it's the first day of school, so,
Yeah.
And this needs to be handed in when?
October 1st. So if the board is willing to vote to approve it tonight, then we can go ahead and get that done with.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of it versus some of the past ones we've done, and it's very realistic.
Yeah, I did think it was kind of funny, the state library was like, okay, please stop sending us 30-page strategic plans, because they have to read them all. And they just really, they're like, please stop.
I think the past one was a lot. It was a lot. I definitely like what you've done. I know I've talked to you about, the whole deal, and you've done stuff, but I still feel that, and if the board doesn't want to do this, I'm fine with that, but I just want to say that I just really feel we need to be accountable sometimes to things, and what I find with this is there's no accountability. Like, when we look at the last long-range planning, like, what wasn't done, what didn't get completed, like, shouldn't that be carried over? And like, that's my whole thing, is like an accountability, like, in this will be done by hopefully year 2 or year 3 this will be done. I'm not asking like for specific dates, but like, this is our plan for in 5 years, this is long range planning, that's what's going to be done, but by year 2 we'll have done this, or that's what I just feel that's the only thing I feel it's missing. I think you did a great job, and I have no problems.
Yeah, and some of it I really honestly, like, I looked at, I could, could I put that in? But there are a number of things that we don't even, like, we don't know if we can do. Like, doing a Polish language story time, would like to do that, but I don't even have, is that even possible? So to say, we're definitely going to do this by year whatever.
Well, that doesn't mean, I don't think a long-range plan is that it's definitely going to happen. I think it's your goals, this is what we want to do and try to accomplish. You're not going to meet.
Actually,
I just feel.
Like, do you mean, like, for example, like it says the library will continue to provide welcoming, versatile space for the community, and like you'd say, well, in the first year we're going to do this to.
Well, some of
better
them
it?
can be broken down into more. Not all of them will be able to. Like, I think it needs more.
But like
meat.
just that as an example, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
actually, the information that I sent to everyone from the Mass Board of Library Commissioners and what their expectations were is that there would be no date set on the long-range plan.
Oh.
Yeah, they actually said that.
I know you had said
Yeah,
that.
they said in the
Yeah.
training that I went to that.
So to me, I feel like-
Go back and read that page. My
I just
feeling
feel that
is
there's no accountability
But we
to.
have an annual plan too.
Yeah, we
that-
do have to submit an annual plan.
Right, and that
So
was
that's-
something.
Add dates onto that.
So that was something that I did want to bring up, is I've been here for over a year and I don't remember doing an annual plan.
It wasn't done last year, no.
No,
And the
because
reason
it's-
that it wasn't done?
I think because Karen wasn't
In
here.
between.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
between directors that it was
Directors.
due.
Oh.
So
Oh,
the state board will provide a waiver in that, for certain circumstances. But,
Yep.
so there is an annual plan that has to be done that says what of these.
And when does that have to be done?
December 1st.
Yep.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
is submitted for October 1st?
This is for October 1st, and then the action plan has to go in December 1st with what we're planning to do, like, in the next year.
Okay. No, I'm fine with it, I just wanted to say.
But yeah, they did, as I told you, they made a point of saying, in their experience, if you put, in the first year we'll do this, and in the second year we'll do this, that people tend to be like, okay, check, completed that goal, moving on, and then never build on it, because you're like, check, done. It's off the radar now. But yeah, so we do have the yearly action plan that will include, has to be based off of this.
That was the thing, that I hadn't done a
Yeah.
yearly plan, so I wasn't
Yeah.
aware of that. Okay.
And that's, my understanding is that's a very short, like,
It is.
a page.
It's a one sheet.
This is what we're doing kind of thing, so.
Yeah, there was an example. I can resend that if folks would like to look at it. But there was an example of the one sheet. Yeah.
All right, make a motion to approve the long-range plan proposal.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, so I have a
Alright.
page for the esteemed co-chairs to sign before you leave.
Sure.
That just says it was approved. So I have
Alright.
the official documentation.
It looks like the next item is the youth services librarian salary.
Yes, so before Greg Valiakonis had left, obviously he was town administrator when Lita was hired, and he approved hiring her at a very slightly higher salary than our previous youth services librarian in order to get her a little bit closer to surrounding towns. Unfortunately, because of when Lita started, our budget had already been submitted. So the number that was approved for her salary is not the number that was in the budget. So we need to ask. We need to ask the Board of Selectmen if they will put that an article to appropriate that amount, which, in case you wondered, is $1,686.95. So it's not a huge increase by any means. But we need to ask them to put that on the town meeting warrant for October.
When does that have to be submitted by?
Sooner is better.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a date. That's why I'm asking, is there a date?
I haven't been given the final date. We did get the email saying, hey guys, just remember, the annual town meeting is
So is
coming
that
up.
something you have to go to the selectmen for at a meeting?
So what I would have to do is, the library has done it before, so Pat very kindly forwarded me the wording. So there's a letter that says, Dear Board of Selectmen and Mr. Ruda, the Library Board of Trustees and I respectfully submit the following article to be placed on the October 2019 annual town meeting warrant. Article, whatever it is. To see if the town will vote to raise, appropriate, borrow, or transfer the sum of $1,686.95. Said funds to be appropriated to the library operating expenses account, or take any other action relative thereto. These funds are necessary to fully fund the youth services librarian's salary at the level approved by the previous town administrator. So this letter has to be sent to them, and then kind of goes from there.
I think if it's sent sooner, they will come back and say how you may have to adjust the
Yeah, and
the
that's-
wording. So get it to them
Get it in
sooner.
there
Yeah,
rather than
that's
later.
why I would like to.
Yes. I make a motion that you send that to the town administrator ASAP.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? No. All in favor?
So you lovely ladies get to sign that too.
Okay. All right, looks like we got Christmas Eve library hours on here as well.
Yes, so it is traditional, I gather, and it is also on the town calendar that town offices will close early on Christmas Eve, December 24th. I would like to ask the board to go ahead and set that time, because our hours are obviously different than town hall hours. So they will sometimes say, oh, we're leaving at, whatever time. And we're like, well, thanks, that's half an hour off our schedule, or we'll only have been open for an hour and a half at that point. So I'd like to ask.
So it's on a Tuesday.
Yeah. So we would normally be open to 5. And I'd like to close at either 1 or 2, whichever the board feels is.
Saturday hours at 10 to 2?
Yes.
I would just do it that way. I'd go 10 to 2 and just kind of.
The town
other
hall
hours
is
would go
closing
before.
4 hours
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
So I would say
Yes,
10
they
to
usually
2.
close by then.
All right, motion to approve library hours on December 24th, 2019 is 10 to 2.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, next item is the 10th anniversary committee, and for the grand opening of the library.
Yes, so our 10th anniversary of the new building will be next July 10th. I would like to have the sort of kickoff meeting for an anniversary committee on September 19th at 2 p.m. It's a Thursday afternoon. I know Lita and I will be there. I'm going to ask the Friends of the Library to send a representative, whoever wants to. But it would be good to have at least one member of the board. And Lita and I have already been tossing around ideas and brainstorming, so. But yeah, we probably need to start, if we're gonna have a proper 10th anniversary thing, we need to start working on that.
And I did send along.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, so I will send her that email with the information.
Alrighty, any board member comments and or observations?
I have some.
Alright, go ahead.
Just a few things. Today is National Voter Registration Day. Voting is important. If you're not registered, please go ahead and do that. National Friends of the Library Week is October 20th to 26th, and our Friends book sale is the 18th and the 19th. And hopefully they will promote membership during that time.
And they are already running out of storage space for books.
I
for that,
understand that,
so.
yeah, so maybe we don't need to put, they're looking for.
Yeah,
used
at
books
the
on-
moment, they're not looking for any. They may be a little closer to the time, but
Yeah.
What'd you say the date was for that?
October 18th and 19th.
Yeah, the members preview, I'm guessing, will be the Wednesday.
Oh, and I should say that they also, their baubles and bling sale for jewelry will be in December.
Mhm.
So if anyone out there has gently used costume jewelry or jewelry boxes that you would like to see go to a good cause, you can bring those by the library. We already have a stock of donations living in my office, so.
Okay. All right. And just the other note was that there was some good news for the Mass Board of Library Commissioners and hence the libraries on the fact that library funding this year on the budget exceeds the legislative ask. And there was an increase in just about every line item, or level funded in some, but they have increased the library technology and resource sharing by a good amount, which is beneficial to us, and also the support of the library sharings that we can benefit. The state aid has also been up a bit, and there are some local earmarks. 158,000 of that is already earmarked for use outside of state aid within that scope. But that's good news for us, and the libraries that maintain certification are the ones that benefit from the receipt of state aid, so keeping our funding level appropriate is really important to us. Anyone else?
Anybody?
I do have one thing that I forgot.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
just sitting here. The Greater Worcester Community Foundation, which is where our endowment is managed, is welcoming a new CEO. They have invited us to a reception to honor her, and I was going to go. If
Can you
anyone,
pass that?
Yeah, if anyone would like to come along. And there's also a copy of that which came to Pat sitting in the trustee folder.
Yes, I do occasionally put things in the trustees folder, and as does Drusilla.
there are some information about these little things, which are information about the Mass Board of Library Commissioners are in there. If you wondered what they do, besides tell us what we need to do.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, if nobody has anything else, we will motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Drusilla, that kickoff meeting for the 10th anniversary was the 19th of September?
September 19th.
At 2?
At 2 p.m., yes.
And that meet and greet is at 5 p.m.